Back in the early 2000s, Lil Wayne and Birdman were an inseparable pair. Their bond was strong and soon became blood. Birdman was Wayne's father. Wayne was Birdman's son, and no one could tell them or the world different. This relationship was special and weird at some points, but their love for each other was undeniable. Well, until some shady activity came to light, and Birdman getting a new son leaving the old one to be disposed of. But how do we go from love affair to homicide attempt? To understand the end, we first have to go to the beginning. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the subscribe and like button. Your support tells me to keep uploading and lets me know someone out there is enjoying this content. All right, run it. Birdman and Wayne met when Wayne was just 8 years old. At that time, Birdman had no kids and took Wayne under his wing to mentor him. He saw Wayne had some talent and didn't want them to go to waste in street life. After being around Birdman for a few years, Wayne's career started gaining some traction. He dropped his first album under Cash Money with his group, the Bee Gees. Then through that was able to enter the group, the Hot Boys, and ultimately his own solo contract with Cash Money, all before turning 17. Maybe I really am a failure. The success, however, came with tragedy. Wayne's stepfather, Reginald McDonald, who'd been in his life since he was young, was killed in a shooting when Wayne was just 14. At such a young age, death is a hard topic to accept. Wayne had been through his parents separating once before, but to lose another father figure so abruptly hurt Wayne to the core. After finding brief happiness, he was once again a little boy with no father figure in his life. Ironically, it was this loss that brought him even closer to having a father. Birdman was now the sole father figure in Wayne's life, and their connection began to blossom. That was his son, and they were never afraid to show their love for each other. Birdman openly called Wayne
Birdman, that's the Birdman, Jr.
This also explains this picture. Birdman took no shame in it and defended it in ways only a parent and young thug would. Atlanta love is unlike any other. Wayne and Birdman were a sure thing. They were concrete, and they doubled down on those claims, dropping a collab album like Father Like Son, with the lead single all about what Wayne wants to be when he grows up. It takes a special kind of connection to refer to your dad as daddy. Even more to look at this and want to kiss it. In typical rich father and son fashion, Birdman spoiled his child. He let Wayne have his own recording label with Young Money Entertainment, a label that still dominated the industry 17 years after its inception. They agreed for Wayne to keep 49% of his earnings, with the majority percentage going to Cash Money. So to put things into perspective, Wayne had a solo contract along with his budding stars on Young Money signs him under Birdman. Wayne had all of his money from his music coming through to him through Birdman. Before any money fell into Wayne's hands, it was in Birdman's claws first. Recipe for disaster? Yup. In 2014, Wayne filed a suit against Birdman for lost wages after being signed to Birdman for almost 2 decades. Those 20 years included Wayne's prime, when he was literally printing money for the label. Yeah, by 2014, he fell from those heights, like every artist does in due time. But not every artist is Lil Wayne. When Wayne fell, his prodigy took over and outdid the master commercially. Birdman had 2 money machines right under his belt. The Young Money founder was now owed old money. A lot of old money. But what also coincided with Wayne's contract problems was the rise of Young Thug, Birdman's new child. This is where things start to get ugly. If you look at Wayne's discography, he dropped pretty consistently. From 2002's 500 Degrees, which I may add, is an album so extremely dated, it should be considered a crime to play it while wearing a shirt that's not at least 3XL, to 2013's Rebirth. From there, it's a half a decade gap until Wayne dropped again with a Carter 5, which was strange. What made Wayne hot and what kept him hot was his work ethic. So why did Wayne's world grind to a halt? It's simple. Birdman was pushing Wayne's replacement, a gang-affiliated, squeaky-voiced rapper from South Atlanta. In typical Birdman fashion and very reminiscent of Wayne, he just wanted to help a kid in need.
I see Thug, he come from that same cloth, from these streets. And I see opportunity that we can help him change not just his life, his family life, his homie life, and make a difference in this world.
In the beginning, everything was fine between the three. Birdman called them.
We embraced Thug as our little brother.
But that brotherhood soon became sibling rivalry, orchestrated by Birdman. Thug's entrance into this family proved to be a cancer over time. Before the beef, Wayne was Thug's idol. So much so that Thug did this.
You got a title for your new album coming out? Your future album?
Yeah, Carter 6.
Oh, it's Carter 6.
Yeah.
Nah, your shit is Carter also?
Yes, the Carter 6. Out of any combination of words under the sun, Thug wanted to call his debut album, his real introduction to the world, a knockoff Lil Wayne album. Thug's plans were to create a 6th installment to a series he didn't start, all while Wayne, the creator and sole owner of the series, was fighting tooth and nail just to release the 5th one. Then he cemented his claim, saying he was making Carter 6 through 10. The line between paying homage and disrespect was non-existent. Still though, no one took him serious. I mean, how can you just hop in and make a 6th installment to a series you literally have nothing to do with? Or you can. His own label 300 Entertainment confirmed the title. This is where everything starts falling apart. Soon the album artwork came out, and Wayne fires the first real diss at Thug, which was well deserved. Thug stole his name, and slandered it by posing naked on the cover. Thug responds with, "Wayne's my idol, I'd never diss him." Then diss Young Money the next day. Then again. Then changes his album title to Barter 6, and wants to do a show in Wayne's hometown, Holly Grove. All in a span of 3 days. When the album dropped 2 days later, it was jam-packed with more disses to Wayne. So how did Wayne respond? Ah, a man of class. Now we're entering the peak of this highly avoidable beef. 2 weeks later on the same day, Thug gets booed off the stage in Wayne's home state, and Wayne is at a club performing in, you guessed it, Thug's hometown, Atlanta. With beef between the two at an all-time high, it only makes sense for something to happen. Unsurprisingly, something does. Wayne's tour bus gets shot up. With the shooting happening in Atlanta, a place Thug claims wholeheartedly, it's no surprise he was a likely suspect. Plus his name is literally Young Thug. A writer writes, a painter paints, a singer sings, thugger thugs. And their accusations were right. Sorta. The gunman was Pee Wee Roscoe, Young Thug's road manager since 2012. Roscoe also having ties to Birdman, which date back to 2013, an entire 2 years before the shooting. Birdman claims innocence, saying he would never hurt his son, but a phone call to Pee Wee Roscoe while in jail contradicts those claims. Roscoe called Birdman right after the shooting. In his trial, he named the beef the cause of the shooting, and there's a call on record between the two from jail, in which Birdman tells Roscoe it's simply business and to come get his money. While the purpose of the payment wasn't specified, it wouldn't take many brain cells to piece the story together and realize Birdman and Young Thug's plot. Roscoe was sentenced to 10 years in prison, while Thug and Birdman continued their love affair from outside the bars. While Wayne and Birdman have since squashed their beef and returned to father and son status, him and Thug still have bad blood, which I truly don't blame him for. If someone sent goons on me, I wouldn't want to be their friend either. And like that, you've made it to the end of the video. Since you made it this far, I know you have nothing else better to do, so you might as well subscribe and leave a like. If you enjoyed this video, which you probably did since you're still here, here's another video for your viewing experience.